Okay, thank you everybody for joining us and starting off with the first of the four-part mini-series is our very own Meir Cohen talking about the Jews in Morocco. So please give him your undivided attention, and at the end there'll be some questions and answered. Thank you so much.
Okay. Erev Tov, thank you for coming. I break it down to 5 subjects, like a little bit history to get some background about Morocco, the places that I born in, the city, and the way we were living in the city. And then we'll have the Aliyah, how we approach, how the Misrad Klita and the Aliyah approach us, and how we did it all the way from Israel to, from Morocco to Israel. And then if we'll have some time, we'll go what happened in Israel, the first, the beginning, months, 6 months, what happened there, where we were. So that will be the last subject. I born in 1958, we left in 1963, so I was 5. My family still was young there. I had older brother, young sister. She was 6 months when we left. And my older brother and my younger brother. So we were like 6, 5, and 3. And my grandma was with my father always. And of course, my mom. And how I know what I wrote, Israel, I remember very well, but I called my aunt, I called my other, friend that was older, my mother, whatever I heard. I didn't have much information. My father and my mother didn't really talk about it, and we didn't really care. So we grew in Israel. We didn't thought anything interesting, but it was amazing after I learned what was there. And so this is my sources, little bit books, and we'll start from the history. The Jew in Morocco, I could not believe it. Somebody coming? Yeah. Okay. We'll wait for somebody. So who we having? Toda rabah, there are a lot of people here. Amnon, Erev Tov lekulam. Michael Shid, Boti Damr, Yofi. So we'll wait for another guest want to come. Okay, so we're going to start. History of Morocco. Because of this class, thank you for Rabbi, for Rabbi Fish. Rabbi Fengebaum told me to, I thought I'm going to speak 15 minutes, but turned out everybody speak all night. That's a lot. So the last 2 weeks, I was calling around to make sure what I'm talking about. I will talk the way I saw it and the fact, but about history, I could not believe it. The Moroccan in Israel, in Morocco, 2,500 years. That's a lot of time from the first temple. And they can prove it. I didn't even know, but the more I search, I realized. It was a place next to our village that's called Bnei Shalomo. Some tribe, the tribe that controlled Morocco on the south was the Barbarian. They were different Muslims from the north. We spoke about the Barbarian later on the way the city I was living. So we were the Barbarian. They have interesting place on the mountain. It's hard to get there. Today you can get with special jeep, but back then you have to have a donkey and you walk. It's called Ba'asha Solomon. They believe it was son of Solomon. Amazing place, and you can see there amazing stuff. You can see places from the Roman time that they brought some Jews to. And that tribe is very interesting. You go there, you wear the jalabia, the dress that we used to wear, because those Barbarian, they didn't like anything to do with Spanish. They look with pants or French. They want to make sure they don't see your pants. So you have to have that. Even today, if we want to visit, we have to take it there in order for them to welcome you. And basically on every 3 person, they require a ship. You have to bring them a ship and then they let you in. It's amazing what you see there in Hebrew even. So that's one part that a lot of people visiting there is all the way on the south, on west of Sahara Desert, on the mountain of Atlas. So it's almost different part of Morocco. And that's what I basically grew up over there. It was a sign that say Yosef ben Maimon 400 BC. I didn't know. 400 BC, Yosef ben Maimon, Matzeva, and it has something very interesting that wrote in Hebrew that shul, it's not a shul, it's a Muslim, but they turn it, Ad kan radaf Yoav sar hatzava achrei haplishtim. Until here, the general of King David, Yoav, pursue the Plishtim. That was happening in Israel, but we don't know what's that sentence, doing there. So we made search and we found in the Gemara that the Gemara tried to find out where is the 10 tribe disappeared. It's happened 150 years before the destruction of the first temple. 10 tribe, Ashur took them away. Jerusalem was surrounded, and the 10 tribe from the north, they disappeared. So the Gemara believed, but Mazutra said very clear, they went to North Africa. And he described, if you look at the Gemara 90, Tzadik Dalet, 94, first page, he described their mountain and all this exactly that more the desert, the area that we were there. So some rabbi believe that we were possible over there from the 10 tribe. A lot of people mixed later when they ran from Spanish in acquisitions and all that happened, mixed with us, but some people were there from that time. At some point, the Jew was in Morocco, 250,000, the largest Jew in Muslim country, that it was Morocco. Today in Morocco, you have about 3,000 Jews left. All of them left Israel. Between 1955 to 1967, after Morocco got their independence from French, the king loved us. So somehow he gave it permission. I will talk about it when we did the Aliyah, how we did it. From 55 to 67, almost everybody left. Total Jews recorded by Israel, 350,000. Everybody hear me? Everything good? Edward, Erev Tov.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please put yourself on mute. Please put yourself on mute.
Me? Oh, the other, okay.
Everybody. Thank you.
In our town, Tiznit, I will talk about Tiznit. It was last family left in 1971. So in Tiznit, my town, nobody there today. When I went to Orlando 25 years ago to EPCA, to Morocco, I was very excited to tell them I'm from Morocco, and they started hearing me speaking. They didn't want to speak with me. They never saw barbarian. They saw your language, that comes from Rabat, it's very far. They said, hold on. And I got a little bit insulted. They told me I'm a shloch. Shloch, it doesn't sound good, but if you translate it by the barbarian, it's tahor, it's pure. But in Israel, they call us shloch as it's insulting. I said, why they don't like me? She said, hold on. He brought a lady from the kitchen. She was so excited to see me because she's barbarian, I'm barbarian. And she said, the shul is waiting for you, it's closed, we clean around, we want you back. We're missing the holiday, we're missing the Shabbat. Your guys was praying, so they loved us. It was just different time Muslim at that time. Not today is different, but back then the Muslim was educated, it was different story. They really, and I started speaking with him, Shlohid, it's called Moroccan Arabic. So I spoke with her, was very excited, and she said, we want you back, and we keep the grave clean. Until today, they make sure every grave is clean and maintenance by the government. They love the Jews so much. They believe that they give them a lot of blessing to Morocco. Now, the Jews in Morocco split that almost 3 different countries. You have the north that the French took over from the east, north, and then you have the northwest. Spanish took 3 cities, and then you got the French, and Jews was living there. A lot of Jews from acquisition from the 800th century, from the 9, from the 10, because Spanish really did a lot of trouble every 100 years, not only to us, they did it to barbarian too. So we were kind of have a common enemy. So they come, they know, so they speak different. They speak Ladino, and they speak Ladino mixed with Moroccan. It's kind of Yiddish style. The way Yiddish build, that's Ladino. We don't understand them. They don't understand us. but that's part of Morocco on the top. They are more educated, they're close to Europe, so it's different. And you have down Moroccite Yehudit, that we spoke Jew between us, not Hebrew, that the Arab would not understand that. And we have Moroccan Arabic to speak with the Arab people. And then we have French. So about four languages, all mixed, the entire. I left early, 5. My mother was studying French school. We talk about it later, how the French French was in Morocco about 40 years, and they really put their culture and everything to Morocco, even today.
Are the letters written out in Moroccan or
In Hebrew.
in Hebrew?
Amazing. So they don't know. So I'm very surprised that my area was very, somehow the Jew got there everywhere. I was surprised. I thought nothing. I left Morocco for 40 years. I thought I'm nobody, but now I'm reading the history. It's amazing what was there. So Tzarfat took over from 1912 until 57. And then the Muslim and the Jew was mixed from all these 100, like I said. So we move now to my town. So any question about the history? Just the history. Okay, so that's more or less Morocco. It's a beautiful country, it's amazing. Okay, how the city is built in Morocco? First, they put a big wall, like in Jerusalem, literally, Homa, very tall, because they want to protect themselves from tribe. It was no ruling until the French came. So everybody did whatever he wanted, was tribes. Even when the French came, they could not control our area. We were in the mountain area. So every city will have round wall and has the gate. They will close at night. And inside, they will have the Jewish quarter called the ghetto. The ghetto today doesn't sound good, but really the ghetto saved our life to be there for 100 years, because it's protecting us not to be mixed with the Muslim. We were only with Jews, and we were helping each other and was safe. The king wanted us to be, the Sultan in that area wanted us to be safe. So he said, you must be together. And every, the big neighborhood like Mandarin, for the Arab, they will call it Medina Jdida. Medina is the city in Arab Saudi where they go there, the Muslim. And for the Jew, they call the old one, the Kduma, Medina Kduma. And the Jew was there. In my grandma time, my grandfather time, the gate would close even on the ghetto. No way out after 8. Because they don't want any extreme Muslim to cause something. So they closed the gate. And we had a special dress, Zalabia, 40 years, I think 50 or 60 years ago, you have to be white stripe here to make the difference between Jew and Arab. They claim they did it because they want, if we dispute or something, they would know it's a Jew, so other people will start protecting him from the extremists, the police or something. So they claim it wasn't any, it's just the Jew went with that white black jalabia with white stripe here. And we'll explain later on how we really lived in that area. So like I said, we were very, very far. The southern city in Morocco, the big one is Agadir. It's like today's like Las Vegas style. And we were there another all day to the south to tell you how south we were. Today, you can drive in the highway from Agadir to our town, 3 hours on the highway. Back then, you have to take combination renting a donkey or maybe a truck will take you 8 hours. So we have the Atlas Mountain and we have the Sahara Desert. And the barbarian, why they call barbarian? Because the Roman, if you don't go by the rules, Bnei Chorin. Bnei Chorin meaning freedom. These people want freedom, so they call him the barbarian. So that's what the barbarian come from. Abu Khtzera, that it's here, and we really admire him. He was not far from us on the desert on the border of Algiers. He had very good relationship with the government. So he was a region rabbi to protect. If our rabbi cannot make it, we go to another rabbi and until we go to the king, and then we try to solve any dispute or problem. So we were from Tiznit, another city or two. Jew was there. We were like 250 family. That's all. And then we have another city with 300, then another 35 places with 40 and 10 and even 4. Nowhere. 4 family living in a mountain without access. And they kept everything that they were Jew. To go to them only with, you have to go with donkey. I'm sorry, with donkey and get rich to them. So we were about 8,000 under the ruling of the barbarian on the south. So like I said, they call us Shluchim, but Shluchim is Tahor. So we'll go to Tiznit now. We lived, like I said, in the ghetto, you know, the Jewish quarter style that they call it, because they want to separate us. It was very good not to be mixed, like I said. And in Marrakesh, if you go to Marrakesh, it's a big city. It's about 200 miles from Tiznit to the north. They have the Jewish ghetto there, 30,000 Jews.
Is it Marrakesh in English? Marrakesh?
Marrakesh.
Marrakesh.
Marrakesh was on the center. Marrakesh, Agadir, Tiznit. Marrakesh was big yeshiva that took us 1 week or 2 to get there if we want to send somebody to yeshiva. Today you can drive 4 hours, but that was Marrakesh. But if you visit in Marrakesh, you will see Jewish quarter that has 5 shuls with 30,000. And the street is so narrow, unbelievable. They're just the way they build them, really narrow. Everything was there.
How many synagogues did you have in your area?
We had 2 synagogues and 250 people. The problem was the people that came from Spain, they were in different yeshiva. And their custom was not like our custom, was big different. So we could not engage with them the way we pray, the way we do kashrut. So everything was different. Our bima was in the middle of the shul, their bima was on the side. So it was 3 years of dispute, and then they decide all the accusation people that came from the 1494 and on, they will have their own shul and we have our shul because it was a different culture. People thinking you are Morocco, but Morocco is not Egyptian. Egyptian is not from Iraq. Timan is not Timan. The Sephardic split to about 6 different. If you go micro, it's like you have me and Ashkenaz, you have me in Egypt. It's the same things. It's not like we are together. It's absolutely different. And in Morocco herself was divided 3. Just to tell you how much to detail you can go. Because everybody come, we've been there for many, many years, and they just come. So, and you know, they left everything. So it's different culture. And we had, okay, let's continue. The rabbi was very good relationship with the sultan, like I said, amazing. Everything you have a problem is you go to the rabbi. No contract signed with Muslim, because if we want dispute, we'll do everything. So everything went through the rabbi to us, and everybody was religious because you live in a ghetto. Everybody is, if not, you have a choice to go to Marrakesh or live in another area that is very dangerous. Here in America is no problem because the government allowed us to spread ourselves. It's not really good because we're really disappearing. Over there, we kept for 1,000 years just because we were in a ghetto. Because of the troubling, we were kept very good. Was the Parnassa, the town called the Pnina of the Darom, the Pnina of the Darom, the treasure of the South. We were specializing in silver and very high gold, 24 karat gold. And the art, the Jew has the time. Back then, time was no issue. There's no career. You don't have to pay nothing, no car, no tuition, nothing. You have all your time. So they will make a beautiful artwork, jewelry to the detail. So people will come from all over to buy, you know, the jewelry. And the Jew took the time, the professional, to do everything in in detail, doesn't matter, like I said, the time, because it doesn't matter. You're not get paid anyway a lot. And you're not spending a lot. You just need to finish meals. So sometime my father will bring 3 meals a day. That's maybe $30, sometime 1 meal, sometime 5 meals, and you keep going. Nothing. People that could not make it at all, I will talk about how, they got a parnasa from the community. Rabbi help and all this. What else about the parnasa? I want really in this time right now to say thank you very, very much to the joint, American joint. We got packages every 3 months, amazing. Because the king of Morocco contract USA after they got independent and they want to build a relationship with America. So he told them, I have a wise people here, Jew, they need help. So they joined the joint. And the joint come to the king and they visit him, but he saw the Chachamim and he saw Jew, so in Morocco they called them, I was surprised. Today is not nice. If somebody not religious, what we call him? Secular. It's not nice. Or you call him Cheloni. The Muslim has so respect to the Jew that doesn't do what we do in Shabbat, Yehudi Acher, in Hebrew. Another Jew. They will call him another Jew. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So that's basically what we have. Everybody, whatever he know what to do, he do it in his house. He go to the shuk, he sit down, and if he get lucky, he sells something. He doesn't like it, he coming back home, and everybody will help and will do whatever needed to do. The shuk was inside of the ghetto. It's like imagine Walmart without wall on the side, and you have department, mid-department, this department. So you go to each area and you buy or you sell. Now, like I said, time was no issue. If I buy from you something, we sit, I introduce myself, we talk 20 minutes, we have nachat ruach, ma shenikra. Peaceful. That's part of the Arab, even the Muslim. Beautiful. They're always laughing and they will do the negotiation. It can take, if you buy a table, it can take 4 hours. Doesn't make sense. You pay me with your visa, nobody talk with you and you go. Today, nobody talk with nobody. I can stop in Best Buy with $2,000 tablet. Nobody say nothing. Even maybe you hear even not thank you, just go over there. It was different. You sit down, you make your coffee. So relationship of Mishar was very interesting, how you can see it over there today, if you go visit.
In the shuk, were the Jewish people separate from the Muslims in the store area or wherever they sold?
Yeah, it was only the Jews and the Muslim. We have a gate for the Muslim to come. They will come to our shuk and take the special jewelry. The special Jew know how to do. And, they bought from our stuff and then they will go and then everything will be closed.
People go to their shuk also?
Yeah, and we go, my father will go out and bring, but like me or part of the family, they always wasn't basically inside of that quarter. There was no buses, no cars, nothing, so you have, they have, so this is basically is the ghetto. Now, the houses in my grandfather's time, I want to ask, because we have already paying rent and we have running water, a little bit plumbing, we didn't have much, but I want to ask what they had. So we're talking 60 years ago, 70 years ago, they had stuff like the Gemara has 1,500, nothing changed between 1,500 years ago to 100 years ago. People don't know that, almost nothing. They have in the house not running water. You have to go to the well, bring the water, you have a big tub, you take a shower, or you have a community shower, spa. You don't pay much, you have hot water there. If you have a problem on your body or you say, listen, I got some problem, there was no doctor, no nurse, nothing. So the people there were specializing, no problem. They scrub your back, they do massage to your legs to lift your muscle. They advise you if you have something, go buy this from there, do this. You take the shower, you relax, you finish, you pay whatever you pay, it was pennies. But everybody did it because no money for plumbing, no money for for facility to do. So there was a community until 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock was closed, women from 2 to 8. So it was split, and that's the way it's called the hammam. The hammam that give good service for people that didn't have much for the rent. They have even a hotel today over there, you pay 60, how much is 60? $12. But if you want the restroom, you go to the end of the whole room. You don't have it in your room. But for $12, you live in a room. You may have a little bit of water. That's it. Shower. Okay, wait for number 4 to finish. So that's the hotel over there even today. So we Kibano, like I said, the joint, thank you very much, because we had some luggage in Israel that I said there. At one time I read, long time ago, I said, Mom, what's this? Not for retail. That was from joint. They give you the food. They don't want you to resell it. Not for resale. Not for resale in English. I couldn't believe it. And they really helped. It helped the Jewish community because they knew the way we live. The house was built not really cement heavy. The way they build it, you take a mud and you put special straw, and about 10 people will step, make it hard, and then you bring the special clay with the straw and another. That's working all day. That's the way you build the things that you need to build a house, you know. It was not even cement. So that's our house. I don't know if we have a floor. It wasn't a floor. It was 2-room. Kitchen is no kitchen there. So we didn't have a stove. Electricity we have limited because the Morocco government didn't have enough power in the cities. They didn't allow us 220 for a stove or refrigerator. Just every house will get 2 bulbs. You know, you get light.
Do they have on Shabbat, like in the courtyard, where they would have a cholent? Was it something?
Yeah.
Really like the Gemara?
It's impossible
Like
to make
living in Gemara time.
exactly, because when you move back 100 years or 200 years, you have to know this halacha perfect. Because today we don't need to know much. We go to Publix, I got the blech, I got this. So I asked the rabbi a few questions. He made me Meir. The rabbi do everything for us today. We have OU. What do you need? You go to Publix, you read OU, you bring it, you cook it, you finish. So you're really not studying all this. But if you go 100 years ago, like hiking, you need to figure what to do because you cannot push the wood. It's called, you make fire. So people didn't have money for that electricity for a stove. We have a regular stove, a stone. We have to put our children in a special area with your name, and the woman will come and take it back just before Musa. You know, they go, you know, beautiful harmony, I would say. Yeah, it was nice. But that's the way we have to make the live. We have to do whatever you have to do. But the house was nothing. Because I asked my mother, how it take you in 24 hours to decide to live? Today, you know how much stuff we have in the house? Can you live in 24 hours? Impossible. You have career, you have this. When you don't have career and nothing, in 24 hours, she said, you know what we got? Nothing, nothing, nothing. So what's the big deal to live? You take 2 clothing, you put 1 luggage, all the family. It was really, you know, it wasn't table was a 10, not a table, was regular benches, 2 rooms, and you just live that way. If you have more money, maybe you can go rent something a little bit better, but that's what we lived in the beginning. I asked my mom, what about refrigerator? She said, we don't need it. We have a cooler, insulation, you put stuff, and that's it. The stove, the oven was kind of from a clay and has a holes. In the holes from the bottom, you put the woods with the charcoal, and on the top you do everything. You can make bread, you do everything. I have it there. You must have that blower. Without the blower, you cannot make it.
Yeah.
Pass it to Meir.
Pass it. Yeah, I will show you. My wife went to Morocco, so she brought this from there, Rivka. Rivka, here. You must go on the bottom. Every 15 minutes, you do this. So this is the one that operates the oven in order for you to have that everything get cooked. It take a while. Same things you do the bread. So how you make a bread? Not on our time, we had a little bit better, but I'm talking, let's 50 in the 50s. How you make a bread? You have a wheat. You buy the wheat from the shop. Maybe you can buy 3 pounds. Remember, my father brought maybe 2 meals. So he has, that's the only thing. So nobody buy nothing. He just go and whatever he can sell. You take a bun with your hand, you take the wheat, you have 2 stones, you throw it in, you close, you're sitting with 2 legs like this, and you do this. It can take you about 2 hours to make 1 pound of flour, white. But it was no problem because every kid know what to do. 4 years old, you teach him to do this every 15 minutes. A girl, when she is 8, oh, what she can do, she can run. She can be executive.
Did you go to school?
School, I will talk about it. Yeah, we'll say, yeah. School, just briefly, was no school until the 1882, was no schooling. Everything was by the rabbi, no secular. Because why you need school when they're not allowed you to do anything there? You don't do agriculture, you can buy anything. It's barbarian. It wasn't even a government. French just took over there to be in Casa and have a living and use. French didn't care. So it wasn't really any hope for nothing. So people went, then the aliens, rich people together with the joint, they brought the alien school. But French said, we put money if they study secular until 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So my mom has to study French. My father didn't want to go there, so he went a little bit, but my mother was there. And French education was, my mom described it as like, it was very, very tough. The first 1 hour, they just want you to, because they see we're barbarian, they want us to take us out from poverty, out. So how you dress, they will put a girl and they will tell her, they will show everybody exactly how the way you should do there, how you do the shampoo, how you put your clothing. She will go to every nails, making sure this is not good, you have to take it. Like 2 hours just to introduce how you should answer, how you should talk, and everything in French, And back then it was there was chutzpah, there wasn't a shame. They would take white paper, put the girl on, do this, and they will count them. Nice. More than 5, you go back home to have the space. So that's the way French, 2 hours just to teach you. And my mom said, you have to be so much perfect. Wax over here has to be clean. This has to be there. Everything was perfect, then you start studying. That's the way they want, that's the way they teach them, but at least they have a school, but you must learn secular.
Until then, there was no secular, you only spoke Hebrew then?
No secular. Jew just study the Torah. Food somehow came in, everybody help each other. When you are together and everybody for each other and you live at the same place, you don't need much. You don't need, because if I got lucky and I got 5 pounds of apple, 1 Arab gave him to me, well, I need 5 pounds. I keep 2 pounds, I give to this family, that family. If you have extra, you give me. So it was a lot of exchange every day. Oh, I got 3 apples, I eat only 1, take 2, take this. So people didn't really need, there's no mortgage, there's nothing to spend.
But when you left the shul and you wanted to speak to somebody, you couldn't speak their language then.
No, we could. We
Moroccan?
took Moroccan Arabic. Moroccan Jewish was inside of the ghetto. Moroccan Arabic was outside.
You were able to
Then,
speak.
yeah, we were able to speak. Well, yeah, you have to, because you live there and we spoke. That's why they was very hard to understand me. I spoke different things on the Epcon and they brought a lady that, so the harmony was beautiful. It was amazing for 100 years. Things happen to the extreme sometime, but overall, everything was, the system was very, very, very good because they really like the Jew. They believe the Jew helped them a lot. Okay, so we go now, how we dress. I say like the jalabia. And we already talked about it. Now we go where I born. I born in a room. My mother, my grandmother was midwife. And they have to get the turn with board of midwives. Here we have a board to help for kiddush. No hospital. You get a room. What they did, you got something to hold, carton strong. You scream and you bring it in and you finish. That's it. My grandma did. My grandma told me she babysitting me one time, so they called her. She was on call, so she took me with her, and the lady didn't have labor, so she left me for 1 minute, and she left. But something started coming, she said, and I was screaming all over. Mommy, mommy, that's what she told me, that I was, I don't remember nothing. I was 4, but she told me. And back then, my mother got married, she got engaged at 14, she got married. Matter of fact, my grandma was pregnant while she did labor to my mother. I have an uncle younger from me.
How old was your father?
My father was, I think, 28, and she was 14, and then at 15 they got married. Then after that, you have first one doesn't work, you got miscarry, you got a baby. You get, from every 10 kids Moroccan has, you have at least 6 miscarry. And how God did it, look, we are healthy. It's amazing how the system, no hospital, just, that's the way the Shabbat, we talked about the Shabbat was the shul, everybody has to, the halacha was mashgiach, will come to your home, Friday, everything okay, no fire, no charcoal. If it's charcoal, he will put water, close everything, your home has to be ready for Shabbat. And and then what we got, we have 2 shuls, and Aliyah La'aretz. Now the fun part. Bonnie, you're with me? And Bonnie Melamed, yeah, and everybody put mute and went to sleep. Okay. All right. Very nice.
Not asleep.
Really?
Not asleep.
But I watch them, I don't watch the screen. It's not fair.
You should watch real people, not the screen.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about, until now, we talked about the area, and we were half hour from the beach, and we were all the way to the south, was a desert. What else we can talk? Okay, that's more or less any question until now? I start with the Aliyah, Eretz Israel.
I just wanted to know how old you were when you made Aliyah.
Me, 5.
You were 5.
I was
Do you
5.
remember your home, like when in Morocco?
Barely. I
Do you
don't.
have any smells or
I
tastes or
remember
visions?
things, but I don't know if they were in it, because Israel was tough too. So I don't remember if it was Israel or Morocco. As a kid, things mixed. I remember the ship.
Okay.
I will talk about what happened in the ship when the water came and the cake was floating. I remember that. We were almost drowned. We'll talk about what happened. But that's, I wish I would stay a little bit longer to know French but we left at 5. Okay, so the Aliyah start. So they come all the way to the south to help us. 53, they don't want to come take us because Israel government was very tough time. They took only adults, certain age. That's why Yaish left by himself. They didn't take all there because there's no support, there's no money. Israel was very poor. And with European, it's different because you get that money from Germany. It's a lot of money for Israel. So they would take all there, no problem, because they got a problem of Holocaust. For us, because of my grandmother, we have to wait until 63 in order, to leave Morocco. So we have the Tudat Aliyah. How he can make Tudat Aliyah, the guy from Israel? We didn't saw camera in our life, pictures. or he brought a camera from another town. So all these small towns, my mom said, they came to take the passport because everybody has to have a passport picture to go. So they come to our town, but he has to make sure that the Muslim doesn't see any suspicion things, because if they see too many movement going on here, they may report it to some guy, to the opposition of the king, and they will tell Egypt and Syria, and the relationship between Morocco to other Arab country is not fair for Morocco. So the king said, you go, but I don't want to hear about it. That's basically he said. So the Mossad and the Aliyah has to do it perfectly slowly, because if the other Arab country know, they will not have relationship with Morocco because it's a Muslim country. So they have to be very, very careful. So the Madrikh, they came in to do paperwork. The problem is how they take us out. So I read or I heard someone come with genius idea from the Mossad. They told the government when we leave the country that we're going for vacation, because it was January after Santa Claus Christmas, because they were French. Or if they were, they did to us. When Santa Claus go in the ghetto, all the kids would throw candy. We have to keep peace. My mom remember with the beard, with all that, he will go and leave, and we have to do their custom because they enforce us to be involved with them. So he has to do paperwork. So he went to so what they told us, you'd go not one-way ticket, you go two-way ticket, back and forth. To show them we go for vacation to French, we go to Belgium and Montreal. That's why a lot of Moroccans there in Montreal go. So they told us, tell them you go for vacation, you have relative there, you go for 1 month because of winter, it was Hanukkah, blah, 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 story, back and forth. That's what you have to say before you go to the ship, in this case, the king is happy, everybody is happy, and sure, nobody come back. Some people, it's not fair. The government Israel pay a lot of money to get them. They never left French. They say, why I should live? And Montreal too.
A lot of Montreal and Toronto.
They left, they stayed there, you know. They say, why we should go to Israel? Israel has nothing, because the relative in Israel told them, they're not going to put you in Tel Aviv and no Haifa. You have no money. You're going to be a shield on the border. Dimona, our Moshav, I was 1 mile from the Syrian, Kiryat Shmona, Tzfat, Sderot, next to the Hamas, that's it. Because if you have no career, no money, say thank you, you must be in the border. Human shield. But it was okay because they give us, we had nothing. They give us so much that my mother and my father from our area, we were very nice Moroccan, not like in the north, very aggressive in the city. We were. So my mom always and my father, Ken Adoni, Toda Rabba Adoni. Ken Adoni, no complaint. I never heard a complaint. We always drowned, no complaint. I never heard my father complain. Why did he give him? Why he give you? Because they give us, somebody ask you, what's your name? And take a passport to take you to Israel. For us was a lot. Where we are, nothing. So, yes, Adoni, Ken Adoni. They call us the soccer in Israel. We came to our Moshav, and our other people were from Maracas, from Rabat, was very aggressive, and we were very, so they called us this. But until today, my mom, Ken Adoni, you're always right. I'm not right. That's the way that my parents, taught me to, oh, don't speak. That's it. That's the rules. Mom, how you doing? Make sure you don't speak with nobody. What that mean? She's smart. I spoke with people. I did business. I lost a lot of money. I should listen to her. So they brought him in. So that was the trick that the Israel government did, kind of to make everybody happy. You take two-way ticket and you just go one way. Madrikh Aliyah, he wants to go to every family. I admire him. He can take only us. We were very primitive. Why he's looking for 5 families from nowhere? You have to go through very dangerous tribe. No, they brought everybody slowly, quietly. And they told us, then they start with the family. Okay, what's your name? Name, no problem. How old are you? In Sukkot, this is Dai. How old is this kid? He's 1 year from his older brother. How much his old brother? Then he could not take it anymore because the Pakid Aliyah, took him half hour just to ask the age.
So there's the clerk, right?
Yeah.
The one who said, yeah.
All our house, we didn't have any paper, any record, nothing. Like I said,
No birth certificate,
no birth certificate. I born, they told me 40 days after Sukkot with this. Then I told the immigration said, we never heard about 000 on your Taudat Ziyut. We need to know when you're born. So I guessed it, November 29. Until now, I don't know when I'm born. Nobody really cared. They didn't know. So he,
When was your bar mitzvah?
huh?
When was your Bo Bayom? You knew when your Hebrew birthday.
I did the Hebrew bar mitzvah,
You knew when your Hebrew birthday was, right?
Hebrew birthday.
Yeah, your the day. You know when your Hebrew. Do you know when your Hebrew birthday is? Your Jewish birthday.
Yeah, I did bar mitzvah in Israel together with my brother. I was
No, but I'm
12,
saying
he
that
was,
the day that you became bar mitzvah. When your day became 13, right?
yeah.
Did you know when that was?
Yeah.
No, I understand. So then how did they make bar mitzvah? I mean, when did you know that you're mechuyev and tefillin? I mean, in Morocco, how did they?
Yeah, they know we were born a week before Sukkot on Friday. And somehow the rabbi has the record.
The rabbi. had-
The rabbi
Oh,
has
okay,
some
okay, so
record
was a
there.
record in the shul or
Yeah,
something
it
like
was
that.
a
Okay,
record there.
okay.
Some record for this, for when you get married, for Nisuin. But in your home, is
No,
no.
no, I'm just saying, because you
Yeah.
didn't know when you hired them.
Yeah. So the Aliyah guy, he got mad. He said, how long will it take me just to ask your guys' age? And the mountain even worse. They didn't. First of all, just to speak with us, we were so excited. The communication was, rega, it was very nice. They did a very good job. Then he said, you know what? Stand up, bring me your hand. He looked at the hand, he wrote the age. My father, he gave my father 39 or something. My father said, no, it's too long. No, I'm getting tired of it. Bring me your hand. So they add to my father 5 years. He went to Haifa and he said, he's wrong. Nobody talking with you. Everything has to move very fast. Things has to move. Even in Haifa, we didn't have to talk with nobody. Truck, move. Nobody understand you. And nobody, it's a madrich from Romania. He very hard for him to understand us. So but he told me, Meir, God paid him back. I got my Social Security 4 years early. So all the struggle we went, he was laughing. He said, how come they send me at 61? No, you're 67. So he started getting money early. So God really paid him back. Anyway, because they look, all the beard and stuff. So they add. Anyway, so that's the madrich.
When you came to America, did you have Moroccan papers or you had Israeli papers?
America?
Yeah.
I had Israeli, but my Israeli record, it shows 00. So I have to make a statement. So a lady from Federation in Miami, she told the guy, she know him on the all the way top floor, he ran from Morocco. So did she put me under people that running? And that saved me. Give me green card in 5 minutes. She's smart. She said, you know what? This 00 will help you because your guys ran without permission from Morocco. He said, no, call the rabbi. She said, I'm not calling nobody. She went all the way to the top floor. Back then it was easy. So she talked with the manager of the high executive in immigration. She said, hey, how you doing, miss? This is it. And he signed quick. And even my wife, the lawyer, didn't know what to do. This immigration in Jacksonville told my wife, you have to go to Morocco or call your rabbi in Morocco to give me a record. Who we call? There's nobody there. He could not believe there's no certificate for a birth certificate. So the lawyer called Washington to prove that my wife left Morocco too. She was, I don't know if it's 6 months or 1 year old. And he did it, like living, like the Cuba lived, they don't ask paper. How you call it, when people ran and you call USA? Asylum. So we got lucky on there. So we had nothing there, and the madrich was, taking picture. But now we don't want to have activities in the millah and the ghetto. So we have to walk to the field. A truck will come in and two families. We had one family called Sabak. We took care of them because we were city, for compared to us, we were for them like God, they came from some mountain, nowhere. So we helped them. We went to the truck, 5 family or something, no chairs, nothing, benches, and the truck started leaving toward the Casa. My mother doesn't remember the port. Maybe some of the port was 8 hours, took us 2 days because they don't want to see so many Jews on trucks. So we have to drive at night. During the day, we had kind of kumzits in the Kivret Tzadikim. We went to a spatial like tourism. So really the Aliyah know what to do. They're very smart. They drive you at night. During the day, you visiting tzaddikim. Why so many people here? And then the truck will leave at night, slowly. And we got from the field to make sure that we are, safe. And we told the local, we're coming back in 1 month. Here we go for vacation. So we left and we came and we have our ship called Edna. From World War I or II, between World War I and II. That's what they found, Israel, something. We went to south of French, January. We have to show that we had a vacation, but we have so much freezing there. We were in Venice area for 1 week or 10 days. And then we continue to Israel. My mom described between French to Israel was very hard. It's terrible. Water came in. The captain has to give to my father a boot. She have to take 2 kids to go up. He tried to help us. The guy told him, if you don't listen to the captain in the ship, he can shoot you. You better be there. So he was there helping taking the water out. All the men has to take water up. And then they give him, my mom said, they give him a handicapped lady to take care of her. Because when the ship has problem, captain can do everything he wants. You have to listen. He want to help my mom, but he has to do what he said. So my mom and my grandma somehow took us up and was very tough until we got to Haifa. So we got to Haifa and they asked my father, what do you want to do? He says, Parnasa. Oh, you want Parnasa? We'll give you a house. We'll give you 1,000 chickens and we'll give you a horse with a wagon Monday and Thursday. You're happy? Sure. In Morocco, we didn't have even Coca-Cola. Why not? So he just said yes, but they didn't tell him where. It was 1 mile in Golan Heights, right on the border of Syria. But that's what you pay the price. Yeah. And it was very fast and was very rude because it was a line. Yosef Cohen, we know you have 5 with you. You're 7, go to the truck. But they cut the line with my grandma and all the kids. So where we go, where she go, nobody knows. Our truck took left toward Golan Heights, her truck to Ofakim. Tell us where she go. Nobody understood us. We didn't understand anybody. Nobody understood us. It was a mess. The truck has to move very fast and go. You go to Mishmar Yarden. She went to Ofakim, took us 6 months to realize where she is with all her kids and all the days. So one of them went to Sderot from my, all my uncle from my father's side, from the second wife that has, my grandfather remarried. And they went to Sderot, Ofakim, and Mitzpeh Ramon. And back then, everything was far and no phone. We didn't have phone. We were in a moshav. So we didn't know where everybody went. But it was so the excitement and the overwhelming, you're not even thinking, you're just surviving every day. Where are you? Where we go? We left the ghetto, we left the Jew, we left everybody. Suddenly all in a truck on the floor. It was just a truck. So we went to Haifa, ate where they're living. We tell you where to live, if he's giving you so much.
So, Haifa is very Chiloni, it was very Chiloni. And you'd only come from a very dirty lifestyle. So were you in a little bit of shock? Like you're in Medinat Israel, Eretz Israel.
We didn't see nothing. We were in a warehouse from the warehouse, dark on the truck, from the truck to Mishmar Yarden. I never saw Israel. It was dark.
But I mean, you're living when you were out and you were in devoted.
I will explain later.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
fun
a
part
shock
later
for you.
on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When you're living and far away. Now we'll explain what happened in the Moshav. It was shock, but you know, to live is very strong. So you overcome everything, and they believe. My father has Shachrit, Mincha, Tehillim. All the rest was Hevel Havalim anyway.
Mm.
They didn't think, they have the Torah, they have the mitzvot. The rest was whatever happened, happened. Now we are a Muslim, now we are a secular Jew. That's the way they were thinking. Simple people keeping the Torah. That's it. So that's what kept them maybe. Not, they never request anything. You have food, you have place to sleep, just say thank you. Toda rabba. So we went from Haifa to Mishmar Yarden. It was Sfat, it was a lot of people. You know, you can see people, Kiryat Shmona. We went far into the Golan Heights. So the truck took us, it was 4 o'clock afternoon, and the local said in Arabic, don't come here. Go to Tzfat, it's nothing here. It's no electricity, it's nothing. Go, they scared us. So we told the driver, we want Tzfat, we want Kiryat Shmona, but the driver has to finish his job, you know, he doesn't have time. So he said, okay. So he took us 1 mile back, or 2 miles. Then his assistant says something wrong with the truck, with the wheel. They throw all our baloney to the floor and they left. Now, imagine now a family coming from a ghetto, all lovely people work together with you. You are by yourself. You don't see nothing. The truck left. We and Sabak family. I think this is the first time I saw my mother cry. You know, they were crying. What to do? You know, they left, they cried. We're in Israel, okay, but it's stuck. So it's happened. A guy it was farmland. It was a moshav. So a guy came from his farmer and said, "What are you guys doing here?" Oh, he do it to everybody. You should listen to us. Don't leave that truck. So he had know the tricks already. So he said, come with me. Yeah, it happened the same thing to Tzipi Ikolov. Ikolov. Her parents was 5 years from us, but they didn't give any things like, we were nice, you know, we weren't people aggressive. They just left to Kiryat Shmona without, you know, they left the Moshav. She told me she was in Mishmar Yarden. Our Moshav was from 1949. It's built by Begin. It was Cherut. You know, Begin built the Moshav. So basically he left and we didn't know where is all the others, but we have to take care of, you know, family. I have 6 months old, my sister. So we went, and one house here, 100 meters, let's say 300 feet, another house. We were like in 20 feet, we were three apartments. Here you're talking, nobody to see. And then at night, the Golan Heights back then, you hear the frog, you hear the tanim, too, you hear all many kind of animals. You don't know where you are. It's a house. The Sukhnut gave us the bed. I remember the bed, a very strong steel, with a spring mattress, that's it. In Haifa, we got a little bit food, so we have to deal with that. And then we had that house, and it was, in the beginning, was scary, and slowly in the morning, you cannot go to the other house because you have bushes 5 feet, and you have to find a way where to go. You know, we were scared. In Morocco, we never, you know, so, you know, you leave, you have somebody to help you right away. So somehow we got to adjust. And then slowly we got, then after 3 days of didn't know what's going on. And it was the house, and that's it, nothing, no refrigerator, no. And we lived there. And then suddenly the madrich came. We have a madrich. Thanks to Israel government, really, they give us a madrich, you know, 4 hours a day, taking care of you, making sure everything good. So slowly told us what to do. You go to the Makolet, bread waiting for you, 5 loaf of bread, 3 we got lechem black. Today, I don't know why it's expensive, all wheat. Back then, the white one more expensive from the black one.
Of course, it's
To-
more refined.
Today, back then, we got the black one, it was cheap,
Of course.
you know, so that's the, Friday, he will give us, he say you get white and you get riba, jelly, and margarine. That's it. That's the way you have to live slowly until you get adjust. So you take the bread, you put margarine, you put riba. If you get tired of it, when we get the tea, we take the bread, we put it on the tea, we mix it with a spoon, and slowly we'll eat it. And no table, you sit on the floor. And we were there and we told the Madrich, everything closed, but we have black scorpion everywhere.
You black.
Scorpion, akrabim.
Yeah.
Yeah, black one. And they were on the sheet, they were on the floor, they were, so we didn't know what to do. He said, what you want? They were here before you. We throw them out. We took a big stone. Our moshav is a beautiful area there. We took a big stones from here to build this moshav. So they came from the ground, maybe nobody care. So you have to live with them. You have to live. So I remember this until today. We were sitting, 4 of us kid, round. We have our tea on the floor, you know, to eat something, and 3 of them came in the row. So we freeze, we did nothing. They crossed us slowly and went to the other side of the house. That I remember. Amazing. And my father, every time he has the shoes to go to work and kayemet, you know, with the stone, it was a scorpion waiting for him inside. Because he has to do this. Or the Madrich said, listen what you do. He gave us a sakin giluach, very sharp chafing. And he said, you cut it, you put some lemon, whatever he bite you, the scorpion, and you move on. That's what my father used to do. And wasn't, but that's part of slowly until we got adjust to know everybody. And now we got in trouble. First time we see Jew, you know, Shabbat and this was shock. And I don't know how my parents took it, and they, you know, that's Israel. But slowly we got adjust with everything. We have the first chicken, very small baby. Madrich showed us what to do. It was a nice floor. We put them in. We put heater water. Sometimes we went to sleep and the chicken house was better from the house. They make noise. They make noise, so nobody can walk in. They will kill the scripture. They will, you know, warm and nice. So we give them better condition where we have. I remember that. I said to my brother, we better stay here a little bit. And no restaurant. What do you do? The restroom was 40 feet away or 50. And it's dark. How you go to the restroom at night? So it was scary. The restroom, you just, you know, you go in, you have a room and you sit and there was no light and you have to figure, so at night we were cheating, coming close to the house and run home. You know, as a kid, you're hearing so much noises when you go out of the house, it was scary. So we didn't have a restroom. We didn't have a table or anything. And then.
How did you learn Hebrew when you got to Israel? Were you speaking only Moroccan?
Slowly we went to school. Yeah, in Israel, I went to, Moshav Chatzor, a bus would take us every morning, Ita Aleph. For 3 years, I didn't understand nothing.
Okay, let's try to wrap up and then we'll take questions.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
we
it's
went.
fine.
עכשיו זהו, גמרתי.
Whatever, no, Mary, speak as long as you want, but let's just, then we'll take questions afterwards.
Okay, so we just about finishing everything, and that's the lifestyle in Israel now. You know, slowly we got, this is what we got, the tea in Israel, you know, in Morocco, the tea style. That's the silver. Remember, we were specializing in silver.
Did they mine the
and
silver? Did they dig? How did they get the silver?
we
Because
bought
you
it.
were making things, right? You were making.
Yeah,
beautiful things.
wholesaler will bring as a sheet.
Oh, so you buy the sheet, you didn't mine.
And we have so much time, we'll do all, they will do all these, they will do that, the Sefer
Right.
Torah, they will do for,
All the
yeah. So they, okay, so what we got now, that's it, that was the beginning in Israel, and the fun start really from now in Israel.
Thank you so much, guys. Let's give a big round of applause to Meir Cohen for sharing his life experience with us and about the Jews in Morocco. Anybody on Zoom, please feel free to unmute yourselves. If you have any questions, just speak up and ask Meir. And thank you for the audience back in person. We're very excited to be back in person. So thank you for those that came out to start this new trend of actually coming out and coming to the class. But for those that couldn't make it, thanks for joining us on Zoom. So if any questions, feel free to ask me.
Okay,
Yeah, when are you gonna write the book?
I didn't
Mamash. No, this.
Yeah.
go there, I never